Holidays were great. We are still, um, in a sense, on our holiday, visiting family, traveling through Northern California. Jennifer, good to see you. Sarah from Phoenix. All right. I think this whole thing is like, it's like a little tilted. I think it's the stand that's on here, but that's all right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Today, we are talking about a new paradigm of sales. So first, just to perk up the ears, this model has generated thus far, let me think, probably a little over $300,000 in revenue, has connected us with over 150 different members and clients and people that we've worked with, and has created, at this point, maybe 10 different retreats in different parts of the world. And we don't teach sales, we don't teach any of that because, again, there's nothing really to teach when it comes to sales specifically. We are not in the business of sales, we are in the business of transformation. And so we teach transformation, and a side effect of that is authentic connection. And that's what this is really about. So I'm going to start with a few principles of sales and how those are really old paradigm. And this is what you get most off in the sales industry. This is what you get. You need to find where someone has a problem and you have a solution, right? The problem and solution paradox. That's what I call that. Because then what happens is you sell them something, you give them something, and if they believe that what you gave them solved their problem, then and they didn't dissolve the fact that they have a problem, then the problem is just going to reemerge in a different form. So for example, someone says, I really don't love myself, I want to lose weight, then I'll love myself more. Okay, well, not loving yourself is the problem, or I should say, losing the weight, being overweight is the perceived problem. But what's under that is the belief that says, I'm not going to love myself until blank, until some condition changes. That's what's actually creating the discomfort. That's what's creating the suffering, not the body weight. Because I can talk to anyone, and I was 210 pounds at one point, and I wasn't overweight with body fat, but I was 210 pounds of muscle attempting to find that perfect body, right? If someone believes that something outside of them, even their body, because that is outside in a sense, metaphorically, of their consciousness, right? It's a reflection of their consciousness. If they believe that someone, something, a circumstance can give them something that they don't contain, they'll create a special relationship with it. They'll create this imbalance that says, I need this condition, I need this situation, I need this circumstance in order to feel free. And this is where almost all sales stays. It says, you're not free, I'm going to give you your freedom. And sometimes that works. And if the individual that now feels more free because of the service doesn't understand that they created their own freedom and they don't need to depend on the other person because the other person really did nothing, right? I can't change someone. I can't free someone. No one can. And so if they truly understand that, then real transformation occurred. And real transformation means you're always 100% responsible for. If real transformation doesn't occur, then eventually, inevitably, you're going to have people that are just unhappy with your service, or that just go on and take another one and take another and take another course and take another course. And they keep in this problem solution paradigm. And that's the typical sales model. Let me give you the solution. We are in the business of transformation. And if you're not in the business of transformation, I suggest bringing transformation work into whatever it is that you do, because transformation is a way of being. It doesn't matter if you're a life coach or you sell products, it does not matter. It's an understanding of who people truly are, who you truly are, and what people truly want, and how to give it to yourself. So instead of trying to solve a problem and show them why you can solve a problem, we're in the business of helping someone dissolve their problems, of helping them see that they have no problems. And that if they work with us, any perceived problem that may come up, we can invite and take them through a process to help them realize they have no problem. Right? So this is fundamental. This is one of the fundamentals, is problem dissolution versus problem and solution. And our calls are not sales calls, they're transformational calls. We actually get on the call with the intention of transforming the beliefs in lack. Because then by the end of that conversation, they go, holy crap, that's what you're selling, that experience that I just had? Oh my God, that's amazing. And therefore, I don't put on a sales hat and go try to sell and then go coach and do. I do the same thing everywhere. I do the same thing on a sales call that I would do on the inside, in the program, with myself, with my relationships. I don't need to become someone else. That's the measure of if you're interacting with someone authentically or not. So I can rant on it for a while. I wrote some notes and I just want to take those notes out to hit these few key points. That was just a little bit, because then what happens? What happens when you show up and you're there to dissolve people's problems? You're not there to say you're broken and I'm going to fix you. Then you create true connection, and then someone can join from excitement versus lack. You see that distinction? Put a comment if you could see that distinction. They join from excitement and not lack, going, I absolutely need this, or I'm going to be, helpless on the side of the road and, die young. No, we don't want people joining from lack. We want people joining from empowerment. Because when someone joins from empowerment, they get amazing results because they know it's in their hands, not ours, not the other person, right? Because that's what we're in. We're in the business of fulfillment and transformation, not temporary solutions. So that's the first piece. The moment, if you're selling something that's a temporary solution, you're never truly going to get behind it because it's not working for you. So you convincing someone else it's going to work for them is you trying to convince yourself. So that's the first piece. And I didn't even write that down, but that's the first principle. What is it that you're sharing? Do you believe in it? Can you get behind it? Does it bring you, has it brought you a level of fulfillment and transformation in a positive way in your life? Because if it has, then it's easy to talk about, right? So I'm going to bring some of these up that I wrote down here. All right, so that's just my initial 13-minute rant about a little bit about what's going to be on this call. Number one, the purpose of a sales call is to make a sale. This is a huge principle that is often seen in the sales industry. Why do you get on this call? To make the sale, to get them to say yes. It's your job to make sales, okay? Now, my question is this: can you control whether or not someone says yes or no? You can't control that. You can't control whether or not someone says yes or no to work with you, to buy your service, to buy your product, whatever it might be. So if your job is to get them to say yes, and that's impossible for you to force or make someone say yes, you literally can't do that. It's impossible. You can even, just hypothetically hold a gun up to someone's head and they don't have to say yes. It's up to them. It's always their choice. So if you're signing up to get people to join, you're literally signing up to do the impossible. You're signing up to try to get someone to say yes. So you immediately come in with an agenda and an insistence that it needs to go a certain way, which means that there's a good way it can go and a bad way it can go. Something you can gain, something you can lose. All of this is illusion. And I'm going to get more into that in these next steps. So the moment I try to control you, I manipulate you. The moment I want to create an outcome, I try to manipulate you to create that outcome. I'll say what I need to say, bend the truth, lie, and I've done all these things. That's why I'm doing this training, because I've experienced everything in between. I've been in sales since I was 21 years old. Actually, no, 19 years old. So almost 10 years. So if the intention isn't to control an outcome, because then I know that I'm not present, and that's what you want to be on a call, and that's what this is going to show you. When you show up on a call as a presence versus a personality that has insistence and demands and requirements and needs, then you create true authentic connection. And the truth is everyone wants that. Even if they say, I want this service for this reason, I want a better body, what they want is to be authentically themselves, to be free, to be their most authentic, honest, free self. And so your job isn't to make a sale, and this is the part you can take a note on. Your job is to be yourself as fully as you can, to be your most authentic self. Now, what does that mean? That means if getting on this call doesn't light you up, doesn't excite you, isn't a passionate process for you, then getting on the call is not your job. It's not authentic. And if you go on that call, I have to do this to make this sale because I need to make money. And if I don't make money, then I'm going to be a failure, and I'm going to live on the street. And it's an obligation. Then you're not being authentic because you're buying into a belief that's not true. That's the definition of being inauthentic, believing something that's true that's not true, lying to yourself, and then living that out in your action. That's what inauthenticity is. So if you get on a call because you think you have to, or if you get on a call because you need to gain something from another person, you leave the moment, you try to control something you can't control. The moment you do that, you feel powerless, you feel anxiety. Some of you is in the now, but most of you is in a hypothetical future. And most often it's the fear of a future. So you're operating to avoid a future. I really need to gain something from this. So I want to avoid the future where I don't gain something. And what's the best way to create a stressful future? To create a stressful now, to be stressed out about the now, to be anxious about the now, or specifically to avoid a future, to avoid a possible future. That's the best way to create it. If I want to avoid being mad, well, life's going to bring me what I need to get mad. Why? So I could free myself from this belief that I shouldn't get mad, that getting mad is wrong or bad, and there's not something there that I need to learn. So life will bring me what I need to free myself from my own mental constructs. So what's the best way to guarantee you're not going to make any sales? Insist that you need to make sales and that you're going to gain something from that. And if you don't make the sale, you're going to lose out on something and be less off. Because those are both futures that right now in this moment, neither of them are more true. They're both just as untrue. Because right now they're just thoughts. They're just thoughts in your mind. Nothing makes them one more true than the other. They're both hypothetical. Is this starting to make sense? Let me know if this is starting to make sense. So just a couple more points on this one, then I'll go to number 2. And there's 3 main points. This first one is the purpose of sales calls is to make a sale. That turns into the purpose is to be yourself, your most authentic self, for its own sake. That means you're getting on these calls because it's your passion to do so. That's why I say when I do the calls, I do them in the way that's most exciting for me. I go into the transformation work. Why? Because that lights me up. Talking about this, sharing this, supporting other people, asking them questions, experiencing the transformation process is my passion. So why would I get on a call and not do that? Why would I get on a call and go, I'm just going to focus on a sales script so then I can go do the thing I love? No, I'm going to do the thing I love now. And this way, and maybe write this down, you're not here to sell someone, you're here to give them an experience of you. And if it's transformation, you're here to invite them into an experience of transformation. That will sell itself. Meaning if someone sees the value in that and they experience shift and transformation, they go, oh my God, I really need this. That's how I started my business. I didn't even know what coaching was. I just started sharing content, putting stuff out. And then one day I said, what do I really want to do? I just want to share transformation with people. I want to, create, facilitate breakthroughs and transformation and healing. So I just reached out to some people and said, hey, I'd love to jump on the phone call with you and see if there's any way I can support you. Let me know if that sounds exciting. And we get on the call, and for its own sake, no agenda, no anything, I would just do this transformation work. And by the end of it, they say, how do I work with you? And I go, that's probably a good question. I haven't even thought about that. And I just make up a number. I'd make up a price, a time, and that's how it started. So, that Buddha's mind, the beginner's mind of not what it should look like. I need to learn all these sales skills, but what does it look like when you're in the passion for the sake of it? That's number one. So I don't sell. I show up to be myself for the joy of it, for its own sake. And that's what makes you a success. Can you control whether people say yes or no? No, you cannot. You can't control if they say yes or no. But can you control showing up in the most passionate way for you to fulfill you? That is most authentic to you? Yes. Can you control that? Yes. Can you always do that no matter who shows up? Yes. Can you let that make you a success? Can you redefine success as my ability to be myself as fully as I can? Because nothing can ever take that away. Last part of this, well, if we believe that we need to learn how to make a sale, well, then here's problem solution. No one's signing up. No one's signing up. And then if that goes, well, that must mean I'm failing, or that must mean I'm not good at something. That must mean whatever it is. Then we go, well, I need a solution. Okay, I'm going to go buy this sales training. And the sales training is going to show me tactics and techniques for people to enroll. Well, if the problem is still alive, and the problem right now is people aren't joining. And if I were to ask you, well, what does it mean? If people don't join, then what does that mean? And I was in a transformational call with you, I might go, so people aren't joining your business. Okay, finish the sentence. And that means what? That it's not valuable. Okay, if you're sharing something that's not valuable, what does that mean about you? That I'm not valuable. Okay, so you have a belief that says other people need to say yes to you and this service or this product in order for you to be a valuable person. And that's a core belief. So is it possible that you've actually given yourself the perfect reflection that you need to get in touch with that core belief? And that was actually the purpose of this entire thing. Not to make money, not to get a client, but to reveal a belief that you are holding on to that's keeping you from happiness, that's keeping you from fulfillment, that's keeping you from joy. And so you have successfully attracted the situation you need to question the belief that's keeping you in hell. Your ego will tell you, this is how you get out of hell. Go make more sales, go make more money. You'll find your safety, security, your freedom there. But none of that's true. None of those things can give you any of those things. But you have to bring those to the surface to bring up those beliefs within yourself and go, oh my God, look, I think all of those things are going to make me free and happy and empowered. You have to bring those to the surface to question them, to set yourself free from them. So what if that was the win? And that's the third principle. I'm not going to get into that yet. But I say all that to say, to learn sales tactics is to not get at the source of the problem that you're perceiving. So instead of trying to learn to get better at sales, ask yourself, what am I making these lack of sales mean? Or why am I perceiving this as lack? Because that is actually what's coming to the surface. If someone doesn't join, it's not my business. Okay, there's 3 types of business: your business, other people's business, and God's business. It's none of my business if people join or not. It's out of my control. The weather, it's not my business. It's out of my control. So if someone shows up and joins or not, if that had nothing to do with my value, then who would I be? I might not even need to learn new sales tactics, but if I do, it's not going to come from a place of I need to improve so I can make sure I make these sales and make this money so I can feel safe and secure. It's not with an agenda. It's for the love of it. It's for the love of the sales training itself. That's a balanced relationship. So you don't need to, so often we go, well, sales is not going well. I'm not doing good at it. People aren't joining me, whatever it might be. And then we go, okay, well, maybe I need to get better. It's very rare that you actually need to get better at the sales. It's that you need to let go of why you think you need to get better, or you need to let go of why you think there's something lacking. Because if you bring lack onto a call, then you're going to get on that call expecting them to fill your lack, saying, okay, I feel lack. If you join, I won't feel lack. And that's the perfect way to push people away. That's the perfect way. Because you're saying, I'm lacking something. And if you join, then I think I'm not going to have that lack. But again, reality will bring you what you need to experience to free yourself from your own suffering. So life will bring you that event, not so that person joins, so they don't join, so you can question that belief that says somehow if they join, that will make me more free. So you're literally learning to be unconditional. You're learning unconditional love for yourself, unconditional freedom, unconditional power, meaning there's no conditions that can give me more power, give me more safety, give me more security. This is all tying into the third principle, but I just wanted to make that known. You don't have a problem. If you think you have a problem and learning sales tactics is going to fix it and making more money and getting more clients is going to fix it, you're wrong. It just doesn't work. It's about dissolving the problem, asking yourself, what am I making this mean about me in order to be feeling this way? Letting go of that, things will change dramatically. Is this making sense so far? Just leave me a comment if you guys are with me. Okay. Oh, Mr. J Money. Welcome, welcome. So that's principle one and a couple points within it. Purpose of making a sales call is to make a sale. No. The purpose is to be yourself, your most authentic self, for its own sake, for the joy of it, for the passion of it, knowing, and this will move into the second one, that you can't gain or lose anything. So the second principle is the belief that you will gain something if they say yes, you will lose something if they say no. Second myth, I could say. You will gain something if they say yes, you will lose something if they say no. My question to you is, if someone joins you, and let's say you make $10,000, what do you believe you will gain from that? That is from the person joining and from the $10,000. Just type it in. What do you believe you will gain from that? You know, someone gives you $10,000 for your service or product or whatever. Just type in what first comes to mind. What do you think you'll gain from that? Jaden says excitement. Yeah, security. Nice. What else? What else? Proof of value. Yep. What else? Anyone else out there want to say theirs? We can use these for now. Freedom. Nice. Okay. Financial freedom. Nice. Okay. So let's work with some of these. I'm going to work with security because that's a common one for now. But you guys just use your own words and follow this process. Someone gives me $10,000, that's going to make me secure. What is security? It's an emotion. It's a sensation. Okay. Someone giving me $10,000 is going to make me feel secure. It's going to make me feel secure. What if security is an emotion, then that feeling of that emotion comes from a belief. So if you feel secure because someone gives you $10,000, you're saying this $10,000 is making me feel more secure. Is going to make me feel more secure. What's causing you to feel secure? The money or the belief? Because can money make you feel secure? Yes or no? You know, can money make you feel secure? Yes or no? The answer is no. I'll give you an example. If I tied you up in a room and put you in a closet and held a gun to your head, but then put $1 million all over you and said, hey, this is your money, are you going to feel secure? Maybe you can, it's possible. But for the most part, are you going to feel secure? I just gave you $1 million. And now I'm tying up Jaden in the closet and getting kinky. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Money cannot give you security. It can't give you anything. But you can tell a story about it. Why would money give me security? Now, to finish that sentence, this will be for you, Sarah. Why would money give me more security? What will it give me? What will it give me the ability to do or have more of or do more of? Just finish that sentence. And you guys do this for you too. You know, Valentina, ask yourself the question. Someone gives me $10,000 for my service. I'm going to feel more free. Why? What do I believe it will give me that will allow me to do or have or be more of myself, of what I want to do in life, what I want to have? What will it give you specifically that will make you feel free? Because this is when things start, it'll give me relief. And what will that look like, Sarah? Get specific. If you're relieved, what will you start doing less of? And what would you start doing more of? And I want all of you to think about this for your own word. You know, like Jaden, you put in here, I've definitely had this one, proof of my value. If the $10,000 is going to give me proof of my value, well, then I'd go, oh, well, I know I'm more valuable. Okay, well, then what would I be doing differently? Or I'd be doing more of or less of? What would shift actually in my life? It will get breathing less, worrying, more in flow with what I want to do. Doing more things that actually excite me, living from less fear. So Sarah, now I ask you, and this is for all of you, once you actually recognize, well, if I had the money, I would tell a story. Because it's not the money, it's the story that says, now that I have this money, I'm going to relax. I'm not going to fear a future. And I'm going to go more into flow with what I want to do. So what actually feels good about the money? Is it you just have these numbers in your account, or you decided to relax and flow more with what you wanted to do? What do you actually want? You want the feeling of relief and flowing more with what you want to do. Jaden, you want the feeling of doing more things that actually excite you, living from less fear. That's what you actually want. So money is the thief that said, here's the things that you think you can't do or have right now. And you need me. That's a special relationship. You need me, and then I can give it to you. I can give you the things that you lack. And this is why wanting money, for the most part, it's not bad or wrong, but for the most part, is either not true or coming from lack. Why would I want more money? Actually, for its own sake. You know, if I don't have anything that I want to spend it on, if I feel truly fulfilled and connected, if I'm in my highest excitement, why would I want more money? I don't want more money until I go, ooh, I really want this house. How much does it cost? Oh, this much. Okay. And then I don't even want it, actually. There's never a time to want, and that's very specific, want money that's not coming from an empowered place. Preference. And some of you might be going, but it's not bad to want money. Of course it's not bad. But wanting as an energy only creates more wanting. Wanting is not having. And usually wanting implies that if you don't get it, something's lacking, something's wrong, something's missing. You're not supported. That's usually what happens when you don't get what you want. So it's not about what you want, it's about what you prefer. What you want, and sometimes when you feel like, well, what I absolutely need, these are addictions. These are addictions to suffering. So if I think I want money, what I'm saying is I want more security. What I'm really saying is I'm addicted to insecurity. I'm addicted to the beliefs that say I can't live in flow right now, that say I can't just relax. I'm addicted to those beliefs. I'm addicted to that way of thinking. And my ego says this thing over there, that money, that future, that's going to fix it. Well, that just keeps you in the loop. So it's actually about stopping and going, okay, can I elevate my want or need for money to a preference. That's the highest level of desire, you could say. You could still have a desire, that's fine. But preference says this specifically. If it happens, great. I'm probably not even going to celebrate though, because I'm already doing the things I love to do. You're never going to operate from preference if you're in lack. You always operate with conditions and needs and wants. So when you're not in lack, when you're in abundance, coming from a place of feeling supported, knowing that you're supported, and acting on your highest excitement in life, you're acting from preference. And that means when something happens in your life, you don't necessarily always have the reaction that goes, oh my God, I'm so supported, because you've been feeling that. So preference looks like either way it happens, I don't have too much of a strong emotional response. In other words, I know that I have a choice either way. If money comes in, cool, I'll choose to continue to be myself. If it doesn't come in, cool, I'll continue to be myself. Not really a shift. You might have some appreciation and gratitude, but that's it. That's it. That's preference. So again, is it the money that you want? You really get clear, because what you chase eludes you. It's the wanting creates more wanting. So do I prefer money? Because is even that true? I prefer the money. Is that even true? I prefer to be the version of me that has the money now. So if the money is the symbol that's going to give you permission to free yourself, ask the question, why am I not freeing myself now? What am I not doing? How am I acting? What am I choosing? What story am I believing that is keeping me from feeling free, supported, safe, secure now? That is the fundamental question in this part 2 here. I can gain or lose something from money means I'm addicted to it. It means I'm addicted to my suffering that is causing me to look for the answers elsewhere. And I'm in that pattern. What's up, Jill? So happy to see you on here, Jill. This is epic. So is this making sense? Anytime I go, I want money, I stop in that moment. I go, what do I really want? What do I need? And that's an empowering need. I need to be with this right now. I need to, it's a sensation that I want. I want to be more of myself. I want to relax and be in flow. Well, what is keeping me from that now? Write that question down. What do you think money can give you? Find that, and then say, what is keeping me from feeling or being that now? That's the gold. Because that's then what makes you compatible with the version of you with the money. You literally become that version of you. Paradoxically, that version of you tends to make money effortlessly and easily, because you are it unconditionally, meaning you didn't need the condition to get there, which will always create suffering because it's out of your control. That's God's business. You get out of the controlling of outcomes and situations and circumstances, and you enter the surrender, the pure possibility, the entering the unknown. Babe, what's going on? Well, do what you gotta do. Do you need to come in? Do you need to stay out? Some change. No. After. Okay. Like I was saying, when you release trying to control situations and outcomes, you stop stressing about a future. You stop getting anxious about the future and trying to control. What's the best way to create, like I said before, a future that you don't prefer? Resist it. Become it now. Try to control it now. Suki, it's okay. And when you get out of that, the future becomes infinite possibility, and you become what you want to be in the future now. You like Sarah said, or I'll just see what Sarah said. I give relief. I experience relief, less worrying, more flow. You become that now. So where is the future created? In the now. What's the best way to have an amazing future? Be it now. Be that future now. That's all you can control. So as you change that relationship to money, that you can actually gain something from money, or that you could lose something without having money, I remember I had a negative bank account. I had like maybe 20 or 30 bucks, minus 20 or 30, or even up to like 200 or 300 probably at some point. And I remember being in this Wells Fargo parking lot. I was walking on my way to a Starbucks because somehow I still had money for Starbucks. I still had cash or whatever. And I'm walking through and I'm going, man, I don't have a source of income. I have no idea how any money is going to come in. I'm overdrawn in my account. And I just stood there for a moment and go, am I supported? And I couldn't find a reason that I wasn't supported. I was like, I have money and food and clothing and a home, and I have all of this stuff that I need. My needs are actually met. And I'm on my way to a coffee shop to write content. This was years ago when I was living in Philadelphia. And that was my highest excitement at the moment. So all of a sudden, my circumstances and my internal circumstances didn't match up. I was free and fulfilled. And my circumstances, were the typical reflection of the opposite of that. And very quickly that then changed because it's just a mirror. Everything is just a projection of your own beliefs. So as you transform your own relationship with money and thinking that you can gain or lose something, because again, what did I feel in that moment? Freedom, and the ability to be myself and totally supported. Well, and security too. I go, if I could be supported here with this, I can be supported anywhere. Those are all things people think you can gain from money. So when you dispel that belief that money can give or take away anything, it's going to be a lot easier on a call to be detached from the outcome. And these first two principles, that's really what it's teaching. Detach from the outcome. It's not about outcomes and things you can't control. It's about you showing up in the way that's most authentic, most exciting, most you. All right, this last principle here. The game versus the game of the game. So taking these first two principles, it's not about making a sale. It's about being myself and giving someone an experience of that. Because what does everyone want on a fundamental level? They just, again, want to be free. They want to be themselves. So when you show up, if your product, if your service, whatever it is, has helped you become more of your authentic self, you're really just letting yourself be that in front of other people. Whether they think they want more money or not, that's actually what they want. They want the frequency of freedom. They want the frequency of joy. They want the frequency of happiness. They don't want the money that then somehow is going to give it to them. They just want the feeling now. And all you can do is be an example of that if it's authentic for you. And if you are doing that with whatever you're selling or sharing, that's 99% of it. Everything sells itself. They go, I don't know what it is about you. I just love you. I don't even know what I'm buying, but I'm in. You get that kind of conversation. And the cool part is because it's representative of your excitement, you get all of this positive synchronicity. Because if you get on and it's representative of obligation, guilt, resistance, you'll get negative synchronicity on the call. And negative synchronicity might look like, oh man, I just wanted to sign up. And then, my whole bank account got wiped out. Sorry, can't do it. Got to go. Bye. Then you go, I'm totally lacking right now. Oh, man, this is not working. Go get on your next call. No one shows up. Oh man. And you just because you keep defining yourself as lacking, you keep creating negative synchronicity to reinforce it. But again, that's only there to question your mind, to question the beliefs and lack, to free yourself from them, to come back into who you really are. So it doesn't really matter if that happens anyway. Use it in a positive way, and great. You just freed yourself. You just created more transformation. So as long as you're not resisting those things, in fact, inviting those things, then you're depolarized. Think about the worst possible outcome in sales. I really don't want, to put this program or this thing out there because no one might buy it. Get to a place where you can say within yourself, I look forward to that. And let that be real. Because if that leads you to questioning your own mind and that frees you from these mental constructs that say somehow freedom, safety, security is outside of you or whatever it is, then that's there for a positive reason. That's there to give you what you think the sales are going to give you. So don't make the sale. Don't try to make a sale. Don't attach to an outcome. Be yourself. That's all you can control. Show up fully, your most authentic self, in your passion, sharing for its own sake. Number 2, Dispel the myth of gain or loss. Number 3, make this a lifestyle in everything you do. So the game of life says if you can make these sales, then you can make a lot of money. If you make a lot of money, you can go buy the house and travel the world and then eventually be happy. So the game of life is to pursue happiness. But what this call is all about is understanding what happiness actually is. Happiness is what arises when you are when you have ended the pursuit of happiness. So happiness is a byproduct of not pursuing it, of not putting it into the future. I'm going to be happy then. I'm going to be happy if. When you let that go, happiness arises. So one way to test your happiness is to go, can I fully be and accept everything in my life exactly as it is without needing it to change to feel happy? That is one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself, because then you're getting into our first gateway in the 13, which again, 13 different relationships. Within them are what we call the gateways, and the gateways to mastering that relationship. You get into the first gateway, which is I need do nothing to be worthy and deserving to abide in happiness now. That's a paraphrase of it. And when you get into that, then you're really in your power. So the game says go get, gain, achieve, create success, avoid failure, compete. The game of the game says, who am I being now during this process? And you make that the goal. You make the means the end. You don't do things as a means to an end. You let the means be the end. And what that looks like in our company is we meet every week and we say, what are the challenges? We call them eggs. What kind of eggs have you found? And those eggs represent your triggers, these emotional wounds, the cycles of growth and transformation that we're in. So every week we meet up in the 13 with, I don't know how many of us there are, about 6 or 7, and we talk about any personal eggs. And we spend the first 30 to 45 minutes just working through anything keeping us from peace. Why? Because the goal of our company is to transform and integrate ourselves and continuously so we can know ourselves. That's the goal of our company, because anything else is going to create suffering. Yes, we have, different points that we want to make. We have different intentions. We have those kind of sales goals and whatnot. We set those kind of goals, but that's only there to create a process for us so we can focus on the true goal. And the true goal is, who are we being in the process? What's coming up? How can we support each other in coming back into our power, back into remembering who we really are, so we can show up to this process in our passion, in our inspiration, in our highest excitement, because that's the win and that's all we can control. And if we only had one person join or none, we would still do everything that we're doing because it brings us joy. And it's, in my opinion, a very accelerated way to have self-realization. So make that game of the game a lifestyle, everything you do. Look at it, go, man, okay, what's my ego say the game is? To get people to interact with this post, to get people to respond, to do this. It's always going to be outcomes and results. Anytime you notice your brain going into the game, the ego's game, come back into the game of the soul. Well, what's the game of the game? Who am I being now? Who would I be if this didn't work out? Who would I be if everything that I thought was going to happen didn't happen? Could I be with that? Can I, am I showing up in the way that lights me up the most or not? These are the things you can control. And when you define success that way, when you build companies or goals around the game of the game, then what you're saying is, what is most important here is my alignment, my integrity, my excitement, my passion. And when you have an entire unit, entire team acting from passion, and they find each other, then everyone has a perfect role that literally fits together, expands and helps one another, and perfectly synchronizes and synergizes, just like a forest or anything else, any other ecosystem that is perfectly balanced through synchronicity, because now we are actually syncing up with that raw life force from the higher mind, from the oversoul, that is sending a constant stream of be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. Let this love, passion, excitement shine through without you bending it, without you distorting it. Just shine it, shine it. And when that happens, it's a perfect orchestration, literally like a band, like Jaden always says. Everyone has their instrument, and together it exponentially expands onto of itself. So that's the third step. Then once that's your lifestyle, that literally is, in my opinion, if I had to say what's the secret to living, it's the game of the game. It's playing the game of the game. So just in ending, good questions to ask yourself: would I be all right if this person said no or didn't sign up? Always get to that place before you have the interaction. Can I be perfectly okay with whatever choice that they make? Know that you don't need to sell anything, that it's about being your most authentic self, sharing your passion with another person. What they do with it is up to them. You cannot gain or lose anything in life, literally. You can create the illusion of it, but it's not real. It's only a story. So who would I be if I couldn't gain or lose? If I could, and then lastly, who do I need to be now in order to not need the money, in order to feel what I think the money's going to give me, in order to be or do or have what I think the money's going to give me? What I need to let go of, what I need to release, what I need to act on more of in order to feel what I think money's going to give me now? Those are some good questions to walk away with. Again, this will be recorded so you guys can listen to the recording. And lastly, because I don't want this to go on too much longer, we are in the third round of the 13, and it is very common for our participants to blow up their business within 13. We've had people go completely full-time coaching, consulting. We've had people go full-time in their medicine business. We had a member pay off $15,000 worth of debt in the maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 months that we were working for them, but I think it was less than that. We've had people heal tumors, literally, at some of our retreats. We've had just the transformation is powerful. So if you're on this call to learn about sales, that's great. But what's under that? Giving yourself what truly fulfills you in life. How do you get there? Well, anything that creates resistance, anything in your life, is going to be in one of 13 categories. I guarantee you cannot find something, and maybe you can, but I really don't think you can. I don't think there is anything outside of the 13 that is, if you're experiencing resistance or pain or guilt or fear or anxiety, anything that is not that fulfillment isn't contained somewhere within the 13 relationships of the 13 and these 13 gateways that can allow you to master each relationship. And I can just tell you straight up, I have not mastered all the relationships. Why do I go through the 13? Because it's what I need. It's a path that allows me to continue to transform and heal. And it just so happens that the most exciting way for me to play the game of the game is with other people. And that these principles are a complete map that goes, man, if I have a challenge with anything, it's going to be one of these. And through the self-inquiry, the process of learning to question our mind and question our belief system, I can actually transform and integrate the beliefs, which then lead me to making new choices that aren't based on seeking safety, security, and power or manipulating circumstances. I can make new choices from inspiration, excitement, and joy. And what do we all really want in life? That we all want to be happy. We all want to be free. And the only way to do that is to find and release the unconscious beliefs that keep us in patterns of addictions to suffering. And so I always say, like, the 13, that there's a 12-step program for people that have addictions to substance. This is a 13-step program for people that are addicted to suffering. And if you're not an enlightened master, then you're addicted to suffering. We all are. We grow up with hundreds and hundreds of different addictions that keep taking a different form. And really, our goal is to elevate the addiction to the level of preference, where we are the things we think we need in life to make us happy and fulfilled. We can choose those things with or without them. And that's what spiritual maturity is, the ability to choose happiness just because, regardless of, experiences don't make us happy. We choose happiness, and then we create reflections of happy experiences. And so it's taking all of that power and freedom back. And that is the purpose and the power of the 13. So if you're watching this, I'll just throw a link in here so you guys can further check that out. If you're on here and you're an alumni, even if you were in my IIST program, great news. You get a really great discount. And you can reach out to me about that. But I'm just going to send the link in here. If you feel even an ounce called, just go to this link, Brandon Bozarth /13, and watch the video on there. It's a little over an hour long. Incredible video. One of two things most likely happens from the experiences that we've been witnessing in other people. Number one, they realize, you know what, it's just not for me. Maybe take some valuable golden nuggets because it gets really potent. Number two, they feel absolutely lit up. We've had, I don't know, at this point, maybe 3 or 4 people completely break down in tears of passion and their own transformation from just watching the video. And they get back to us like, what the hell was that about? I did not expect that. And we go, that's, you're our people. Come on in. So watch the video. It'll either light you up. You'll be lit on fire. The passion of the Christ, the fire of the burning heart. You'll have that sensation, or you clearly won't. But just let that be your own litmus test. And then from there, you can set up a call with us on that website, or you can reach out, find me on Instagram or on my website if you have any questions. We'll get on a call, and you'll actually get to experience what it's like to not have a sales call, but have a sales call, if you know what I'm saying. And so you can't see the link. Okay, AB, I'm going to send this to you. I just put it in again. Let me send it to you directly. Oh, all panelists. That's why. Okay. All panelists and attendees. There we go. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for attending. Yeah, and I'll just say one more thing. The beautiful part about being authentic, it's synonymous with honesty. So when I'm on a call with someone and it's in that sales dynamic, what do people appreciate more than anything? Honesty. And trust me, I've still been brought to my edge around honesty, around staying on a call longer than I want to. I will still be brought to my own edge of that, and I'm still working on that. But the level of honesty of really being able to say, just to be bold, to ask the bold question, to ask them the questions no one else are asking them, to give them a reflection no one else is giving them, to, stop someone, say, you know what? This is not a good fit. I love you. It's not a good fit. And to be able to clearly tell them why, not because you're triggered, not from a wound, but from wisdom, from your own wisdom of going, this is just not compatible with me. And actually have that be a loving interaction. That is the gift. And that you can't teach that in sales. That comes from embodiment. That comes from integration. So thank you guys so much for showing up. If this supported you, I'm going to probably put it on YouTube or something. Please, when I put it out, please share it and send it to people that need to see this. Eventually, we're going to do a whole program called The Unconditional Coach, where we do this specifically for coaches that want to build their business organically to 6 figures or beyond. And that's going to be what draws people in, right? And it's not going to, their success is not dependent on if they make 6 figures or not. I know coaches that are some of the best in the world that make 60, 70, 80 grand a year, live in fully sustainable houses or community, and you would think they're millionaires the way that they live, and they're glowing and happy and joyful. But again, we can share what we've done that's worked for us with other people, and then together we can all play the game of the game. So thank you guys for joining. Come play the game of the game with us in the 13. Imagine 13 weeks of this energy of literally playing the game of the game for 13 weeks. So you'll release so much. And what I found is when you release what doesn't serve you, you naturally act on your excitement and inspiration. And the more that you do that, the more abundance shows up in your life because it's reflecting you. It has to. So thank you again for joining, and we will see you next time.